As Guyana continues on the trajectory of growth and development, government has recognized that investment in public infrastructure programs aimed at putting the country on par with other nations in the Caribbean and South America will spur transformative development for the country. One such infrastructural development project is the Cheddi Jagan International Airport Expansion Project, a US $150 million initiative, which President David Granger has described as the gateway to modern Guyana. In this week's edition of Government in Action, we will take a look at how the project has evolved from one shrouded in secrecy and controversy to one that will now ensure that Guyanese and visitors alike will be able to enjoy the facilities of an international airport designed to accommodate the rising number of visitor arrivals. In 2011, news broke through the Jamaican Observer newspaper that the People's Progressive Party (PPP) administration had signed a secret deal with China Harbour Engineering Company for the expansion of the CJIA. In 2014, the PPP administration took the project to the National Assembly. Despite questions raised by the then opposition about how the proposed US $150 million for the project would be spent, no answers were forthcoming. The opposition, then the Alliance for Change (AFC) and their Partnership for National Unity (APNU) jointly took a decision to vote against the project during the 2014 budget debates. Despite this, the PPP went ahead with the project. But in 2015, after the general and regional elections, the coalition government mandated Minister of Public Infrastructure, Mr. David Patterson, to review the expansion project under a different model than the one presented by the previous government. The new model caters for the expansion and extension of the runway to satisfy international requirements for large aircraft landing and operating out of the CJIA, and a modified airport terminal, which would allow them to complete the project with the available funds. 2 years later, and the project is on stream for a December 2018 completion. While the anticipated deadline for the total completion of the airport is December 31st, 2018, on September 22nd, 2018, history was created as the Arrivals and Departures Terminal was formally opened. This opening also saw the operationalizing of the 2 boarding bridges. The terminal building, which was renovated in the 1960s and 1990s, has been transformed into a state-of-the-art facility. The key components of the airport expansion project are 4 passenger boarding bridges, a CCTV system with approximately 300 cameras, the new terminal building area, 32 check-in counters, and a 450-seat departure area, as well as elevators and escalators. Passengers can also expect additional shopping and duty-free concessions, along with a wide variety of restaurants and fast food outlets. Chief Executive Officer of the airport, Mr. Ramesh Gir, in an interview with the Public Information and Press Services Unit of the Ministry of the Presidency, said that since the opening of these facilities, the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive.
All arriving flights will be through our new passenger boarding bridge, and they will use the boarding corridor and enter into the new immigration and customs area and exit. I must say that the feedback that we have had so far has been good. A lot of persons are really surprised at the size of the terminal building, which of course is much larger than what we had before.
Mr. Gear said that the new terminal is approximately 70% or at least 2.5 times larger than the old terminal and therefore allows for passengers to traverse in a spacious and comfortable environment. At the opening of the new arrival terminal, the incoming passengers, particularly Guyanese who were treated to locally produced snacks and juices, were beaming with pride and joy as their eyes flickered from left to right, taking in the transformation. Doreen Jonas, an overseas-based Guyanese who was returning home for vacation, was visibly lost for words as she expressed her excitement with the new facility.
I am so impressed. You know, we stepped up, and this is so good. Yeah, I just don't know what to say. You know, I'm thankful for every Guyanese that come through here. Oh, and to witness this is awesome.
Mr. Hemraj Kisoon, a businessman, had just returned to Guyana from Shanghai and South Korea, and as he entered the new terminal, he could not help but remark that the new facilities reminded him of one of the developed countries.
And believe me, when I walk on this floor here now, I'm walking in South Korea, one of the developed countries. And this is a surprise for me this morning. It's beautiful, and Guyana is going somewhere. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of what is going on. It's very nice, beautiful. You don't want it better than this.
Dr. Yannick Vibert, who is in Guyana as part of the Bridges Global Missions program, disclosed that this is her third time here. She said that the new infrastructural developments shows that Guyana isn't limited by the label of a developing country.
It's beautiful. Air conditioning is awesome. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's fun. It shows that Guyana isn't limited by what outside think, by the label developing country. It shows that there's a richness in the country, and clearly as you walk in, you see it, it hits you. So awesome job, Guyana.
At the close of the project this year end, the runway will be extended from 7,500 to 10,800 feet, which will accommodate almost every large aircraft. Already, project manager at the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Mr. Carmichael Thorne, said that the runway in the northeast direction is almost completed.
As you're aware, the runway is being extended in two directions. So the northeast direction is completed with regards to the pavement works. There are some minor works like the lighting and so on that are being installed. But to commission this area, it's beyond construction. You're required to publish documents with GCAA, which we have commenced that process. So as soon as the stipulated waiting period has elapsed, we will open that area. So that is scheduled for November.
The benefit of an extended runway and new terminal building is twofold. With an extended runway, the country's aviation operators will be able to entice and attract larger transatlantic aircraft, which means that the passenger flow will be significantly increased. Further to this, Mr. Thorne said that on October 1, 2018, several other facilities, including the apron for parking, will be opened.
We will be opening the new remote apron for parking of the larger aircrafts, and we will also open a second area of the departure lounge that will allow arriving passengers with connections to connect directly to the departure lounge. So those are the two areas that are slated for kind of immediate opening.
At the end of the project, a roundabout will also be constructed outside the airport to reduce traffic congestion and to allow for a faster exit from the airport zone. This transformative project has been described by President Granger as the new gateway to a modern Guyana. During a tour of the airport in January, the head of state said that with the emerging oil and gas sector and the development of the Green State Development Strategy, the GSDS, it is important for there to be greater efficiency in the service provided at Guyana's main entry point, since he expects that there will be an influx of tourists and investors.
This is not an ornamental project. This is very functional and it is central to the future development of our country. It is the gateway to the green state, and I hope people bear that in mind when they're choosing the murals. It's a gateway to the green state, and it must show the character of the country, and also it must promise to move people not only from the Caribbean to Guyana, but to the rest of South America. So it's an important cultural statement as well, and first impression counts.
He therefore urged the management and staff of the CJIA to commit to ensuring that the operations of the newly modernized airport are defined by efficiency, high standards, and quality service.
Now that we are embarking on a major new industry, the petroleum industry, people will want to come in here in greater numbers, and it is very important that they should be able to come into Guyana at the modern airport. In due course, we should be able to time the arrival of every visitor, or put it another way, we should be able to ensure that the visitor spends no longer than 10 minutes at this airport. From the time he lands to the time he's in the taxi going to Georgetown. We need an efficient service, Mr. Deere. So by the time somebody lands, here, they must be able to be on their way as quickly as possible. Of course, making sure that there are all the security checks in place.
The airport's CEO echoed the sentiments shared by the head of state, noting that the airport, when unveiled, will become the gateway to the green economy and a main contributor to Guyana's development.
And it's our main international airport. We process 600,000 passengers a year. A lot of visitors, persons from the diaspora returning back to Guyana, business travel, use this port of entry. In addition, the airport itself contributes significantly. Aviation itself contributes just over 3% to the GDP of Guyana. And in our estimate with the expansion work, for example, we're probably going to have another 200 persons employed within the airport environment. So apart from its contribution to the economy, with the expansion of the airport, it will also allow us to attract what we call large transatlantic flight. At the moment, if we were to, it's very difficult for a large aircraft to travel direct from Europe to Guyana because of the size of the aircraft, because of the fuel it has to carry. With the expansion work, we will be able to accommodate any code E aircraft, which is practically all the aircraft, except for the code F, which is the Airbus A380. Very few. I don't think there's any airport in the region probably accommodating it. And so that gives us that strategic advantage to negotiate with the airlines to say, look, you can actually come here, or you could probably do a tag with another country in the region.
Mr. Gear further noted that over the past few months, management has received several expressions of interest from investors to do business at the airport. Some of these proposals require large capital outlay. This, he noted, is a clear demonstration of the confidence of investors in Guyana's economy and confirmation that Guyana is now the place of choice to do business.
The more airlift we have, we expect the prices for tickets to be lower, so you have more visitors coming. And with the developments in the oil and gas sector, we've already seen an increase in traffic, especially the business traffic, which is what provide higher yields for the airlines. So we can see all of Guyana. Naturally, when there's more passenger coming through, there's going to be additional employment for the taxi drivers, the red cap, and throughout, more dollars. So everyone in the economy will benefit from this expanded airport. It allows the opportunity to also attract direct flight from further fields such as Europe and possibly Asia.
With a modern airport, however, comes the challenges of security, health, and adequate customer staffing and customer satisfaction. Mr. Gear said that management has taken these into consideration and has already begun putting systems in place. With regard to staffing, the CEO said that the expansion and completion of the airport will create additional job opportunities for Guyanese. The Airport Corporation is expected to hire an additional 120 employees between 2018 and 2019.
Our total staff at the moment is 250. We've already recruited an additional 30 person in the first half of this year. What I did not make mention of is the other stakeholders. They also, because of the expanded facility, will be recruiting. So my estimate is that the expansion of this airport will create additional employment for no less than 200 persons.
In relation to security measures, Mr. Gear said that in addition to a tight security arrangement at the airport and the presence of a body scanner, the airport's management has commenced the procurement process for a cargo scanner, which is capable of processing pallet-type cargo. This will enhance detection capability and assist with the timely processing of cargo through the airport. Additionally, the hold baggage scanner and hand baggage scanners will also be upgraded. These will improve the processing time for passengers and will enhance and aid the tasks performed by screeners and law enforcement officials. In January, the airport facilitated a visit from representatives from the Transport Security Administration, TSA, of the United States, who were in Guyana to conduct a security audit at the airport. Guyana performed well in that audit, but CJIA management, under the guidance of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, is looking to improve efficiency and security through training. Further to this, the CJIA continues to partner with the Guyana Tourism Authority and other partners to upgrade the skills and training of all frontline staff.
On the training side, we've also started that process. In-house, we have our own cleaning department, so we call them the airport custodians. 2 weeks ago, we had about 26 of those persons trained, and within the next 2 weeks, mid-February, we're working with the Tourism Authority to have all of our rec cap and airport taxi driver also trained not only customer service, but also to learn more about Guyana. So when they're taking passengers down or they're receiving passengers to the airport, they can better represent our country. What we aim for is to at least once a year expose the frontline staff to customer service training, at least once per year. But we have several other training that take place. From the security side, we have a security awareness training, and in every one of those packages, there's a component that deals with customer service, both internal and external customers.
There is a Port Health Authority located on site to deal with medical emergencies, as well as the Guyana Defense Forces Medical Corps nearby. With regard to emergencies such as fires and accidents, the airport is outfitted with 2 reservoirs at the end of both sides of the runway and a sprinkler system in the terminal building. Safety drills are conducted on a frequent basis with more than 300 stakeholders involved. As Guyana prepares for the oil and gas industry while pursuing a green economy, there is no doubt that the country will become one of the most sought-after investment destinations in the Caribbean and South America. The modern Cheddi Jagan International Airport will therefore become the gateway to the new Guyana, where rapid development and a good life for all Guyanese will beckon. Already, the Chief Executive Officer of the airport is optimistic that the airport will be able to offer a memorable experience to all visitors. This has been this week's edition of Government in Action. Thank you for joining me. I am Gomiti Gangarin saying goodbye.